And welcome to another week of the Jacket Football Show. I'm Phil Jean, your host, along with head football coach James Gage. And of course, we're talking about this week the 31-28 thrilling victory over Pasadena Memorial on the very last play of the game. Just talk a little bit about the elation of that moment.
You call it thrilling. I was a nervous wreck the whole time, but. No, we've been preaching to our kids the last 4 weeks about finishing and staying positive, doing things right, and something good's going to happen to you. And so, when you've been preaching something, and then finally something good does happen, you feel good about it. But really proud of our kids, really proud of our coaches, the way that they continued to show up every single day. They could have cashed it in 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, but they continued to show up, put forth the best effort, and got to come out the other night. And the very last play of the season, we kick a game-winning field goal. Kids rush the field, coaches rush the field. It was a very exciting night.
For 4 weeks, you guys have been very aggressive and active on offense, controlling the clock. More of the same this week, 372 yards of total offense compared to 248. But what was the difference in the fourth quarter? Especially, I know at 21-21, you guys go for it on 4th and 2 when you're in field goal position. Mm-hmm. Lots of times lately, you've been kicking the field goal. What made you go for it there?
Well, I called the play, and we broke the huddle and lined up, and I realized, I was like, it's 4th down. I asked one of my coaches, I said, do we want to call timeout and kick a field goal here? They said, nah, coach, let's just go for it right here. So I said, all right, well, let's go for it. And Drew made a great play on that play. I think we'll see it here in just a minute. But sometimes you just got to get lucky. And we have confidence in our kids. I told our kids earlier in the year I had zero confidence going for it on 4th and 2. But I told them over the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, they've earned the right for me to want to go for it on 4th and 2 because I trust them and what they're doing. But that was a big play for us. And Memorial has a really good offensive scheme. They've got a really good quarterback. He's thrown for over 1,000, rushed for over 1,000. They got another running back that's rushed for 1,000. So they're kind of a two-headed monster. And we scored and got the extra point to go up 28-21, and they went down in about 5 plays and scored. And at that point, I knew there was 7:18 left on the clock. I knew I didn't want to give them the ball back. And so I was in no rush that last series, moving the ball down the field. I was trying to waste as much time as we could. We got inside the 45, and there was less than 2 minutes ago, and one of my coaches came on the headset. He said, Coach, you realize there's less than 2 minutes ago? And I looked up at the clock, and I said, no, but now I do. And so at that point, the tempo kind of changed a little bit because we knew we had to get about 15 to 20 more yards to get in field goal range. But just really good execution by our kids. That's a situation we preach all year is we got the lead late in the games, and we're trying to get 2, 3, 4 first downs and run the clock out. And then we work our 2-minute drill. So we work a bunch of different situations as we go, but one situation we work is trying to get down in field goal range to win a game. And so when something you've been practicing kind of all year, you're able to go out and execute, it feels good.
Always feels good when you can get the W. Right. We're going to take a closer look at this game right after this break. And welcome back. We are going to delve right into it and take a look at that offense that gained 372 yards. Coach, let's take a look at some of these plays.
Very good night offensively. Let's look at some of the highlights from the other night. So 7-0 ball game. This was early in the second quarter. Our first 2 drives, we'd had a fluke pick 6. We caught a ball, got hit, ball flew up in the air, they returned it, and then our very next drive, or the drive before that, we pitched the ball on the ground where we were about to have a big play. So we told ourselves, hey, we got to go at these guys a little bit, establish something. So we called the midline up right here. Drew reads it perfectly. We kind of X-block it right there, and tight end Zane Bailey's able to get up on the safety just enough to give Drew that third level lane to run through right there. But good job dipping his shoulders and then just getting north and south right there. So big play. This made the score 7-7 for us. We felt like at this point, all right, let's settle in and let's make it a ball game.
How nice is it to see Drew making these type of runs? Last week he had the 93-yard TD run, right, and then this one.
He's come a long way. We were talking about it the other day. Him and Sammy were a freshman B team quarterback and freshman B team fullback and running backs, and so those 2 guys combined for close to 1,800 yards rushing for us and 20 touchdowns this year. So just the progress they made year after year after year was really impressive. And Drew thought last year he was going to be a defensive guy, and this year we got him back over to the offensive side, and each week he got better and better. But he really is a good operator. He knows how to slow the game down. he minimizes the mistakes, and when he does make a mistake, he doesn't turn it into two. And so in this offense, you don't have to have the best athlete there. It helps when you got a good athlete, but when you got a guy like Drew who's a really good operator and then a great athlete on top of it, you got a chance for some big plays.
All right, let's take a look at the next play then.
All right, so this was an early second half. We knew they were going to make some adjustments to us, and so we were pretty heavy dominant running to our strength. And so our strength in this particular play was to the right, and so they actually slid their defensive line and were giving us a real numbers advantage week. And so we were able to play before this. We ran the exact same play. Drew pulled the ball for about 20 yards, and then the next play they gave us a very similar look, but the read was different. So we give it to Sammy for 20 right there. So this was coming out first series of the second half, and we go boom, boom, and now all of a sudden we're inside the 20-yard line. But really good execution right there by the left side of the offensive line, moving it. Really good job by Chino, number 3 right there, working up to the next level, staying on his path. And then a good read by Drew. You see a little bitty slide by Sammy, and that's one thing that a lot of people don't notice is right here he takes that little jump cut to the left and finds that little crease. And so he did a really good job the other night, either what we call a slide out or he would sink back underneath right there if the crease was there. But that was one of the more underrated things that Sammy brought to the table is he could turn what maybe looks like a 2 or 3 yard gain into an 8 or 9 yard gain because he understood where the creases were going to be and where the cuts were going to be. But did a good job finding it right there and then going to seek out that little bitty free safety.
And he's been doing that week after week.
He is. Yeah, he really was starting to do some good things for us at the end of the year. This was the big play we were talking about a while ago on 4th and 2. It was kind of a broken play, and kind of like our 2-point conversion last week. They stuff us out, and Drew reads it. It was supposed to be a give to the fullback. He reads it and just goes out the back door, makes a guy miss. And sometimes you just got to give your players credit for being players. But it was a big-time play for us. Obviously, like you said earlier, we could have kicked the field goal and taken the points. But I knew at this point we were going to have to probably score some points to win the game. And so touchdowns were big for us. Like I said, I asked one of our coaches, do we want to call a timeout, kick a field goal? And they all said no, let's run the play. And we're fortunate that we did because it worked in our favor.
What's the emotions during this play? Because like you said, it's stuffed initially, and then
it was more of a shock. Wow, we just made that play, and then you realize, hey, do we want to go for 1? Do we want to go for 2 in this situation? So immediately you got to flip the page and start getting ready for that next play call.
So this puts you up 28-21, correct?
That was yes. That was it. At the time it was 21-20, and that touchdown made it 26-20, and we went for the 2-point conversion to make it 28. So. This was our first touchdown of the second half. This was Chino catching what we call our smash play inside. Really well executed play. Probably is one of the better ways we've run it this year. We get a real good wash right there out of the initial front. We get our guard and quarterback pulled around clean in the hole right there. Josiah does a good job just seeking out that safety. And then Chino does a good job just lowering the shoulders down there by the end zone. Get a great kick by Sammy right there. We're able to just head downhill and go to the end zone. So this is one of our favorite plays to run because when it's ran right, you can get a big play out of it. But when I asked Chino a couple weeks ago if I could call one play to win a game and you were running the ball, what would it be? And he said this play. So he enjoys this play, and you can see he catches it and heads straight downhill like he's supposed to.
Well, with that being said, who's our offensive player of the week?
There he is right there, Drew Bingham. Last game of his high school career, ended up with 131 yards and 3 touchdowns, and obviously had the big play on the fourth down play a while ago. But again, just did a great job executing and operating the offense. Didn't try to do too much. Took what the offense or what the defense was going to give him. But obviously with the 41-yard run, he had a 20-yard run, a 15 or 16-yard run. So had some big plays on top of it. All
right, let's take a look now at the defense and what was happening there.
All right. So this was a huge play for us right here. It's 14-7 late in the first half, and we've got them 3rd and about 6, and they snap it over their head, and Jalen Peterson is there to put pressure on the punter. It kind of made him panic a little bit when he went to go pick it up, and then Ethan Evans comes from the backside and falls on it. We were kind of wishing he would have picked it up and just walked in the end zone. But it actually worked in our favor because we had to run 2 plays, which killed about 50 seconds off the clock for us. And then the very next drive, we get the goal line stand, which we'll see here in a minute as the time expired. So honestly, not the worst thing in the world for us to recover the ball right there on the 3-yard line instead of scoring because we were able to take a little bit more time off the clock. But again, a huge play by our defense. They created three turnovers if you count this the other night, plus the goal line stand. So really, really well executed game plan by the defensive side of the ball.
All right, let's take a look at the second defensive play here.
So this is the goal line stand that we were talking about. There was 6 seconds to go. They had no timeouts left. We had no timeouts left, so we knew this was going to probably be the last play of the half. I honestly was waiting for them to give it to number 0 or run the quarterback on some type of naked bootleg, but they tried to throw the boot right there to the fullback in the flat, and we had a corner. Chuck Phillips was right there on top of it, covering it. You see our safety covers the corner right there, so the quarterback really had nowhere to throw it. And once Jalen saw a green light right there, he went for it and got him down, and time expired. So at the time it was 14-14, and they got the ball back to start the second half. So really huge play because they go down and score to start the second half. So it very well could have been a 28-14 game. But I take that back. We got the stop on the first series of the second half. So, but they definitely could have taken the lead going into half 21-14, and they were getting the ball back to start the second half. So huge play right there by him.
And you guys only allowed 8 yards in passing offense, too.
And that was one thing. I don't know if he was hurt or not. They didn't try to throw him much. Yeah, like I said, he's got over 1,000 yards passing on the year. But they were pretty committed to the run, so I don't know if they saw something against us they felt like they had an advantage of, or if they just maybe the quarterback something was bothering him. I don't know the answer to that. But
we're looking at a bubble screen.
We're looking at one of them right there, and Caden Hodson does a good job. Ethan Evans gets off his block, and they kind of sandwich the guy right there and force the ball out, and Cash Pallage is there to fall on it. So a huge play for us. Again, this was right after we fumbled the first drive of the game. They go down, they get a first down, and then we get the fumble to get the ball right back. So a huge boost for our defense. Our defensive coordinator, Coach Lewis, said if we can get a stop early on, it's going to give our kids confidence. And this was the stop they needed. Their backs were against the wall. We gave the offense the ball inside the 40, but our defense made a play to get it back to us. So really big confidence boost for them. All right, big hit right here by Jalen. They just try to throw, again, they try to get number 0. He's a good football player. He's not overly athletic, but he's a big kid, strong runner. And so we knew that we were going to have to go low on him if we wanted to get him down on some one-on-one tackles. So a really good read right there by Jalen, not chasing the bubble, reading the quick throw, and attacking the thigh right there of number 0 and bringing him down for a negative play. So that was one thing we preached to our guys, is try to get them off track. And so obviously it's first down. We get a 2-yard loss right there. Second and 12 is a good position for our defense to be in. So really well executed play by Jalen right there, reading his keys and then going to make a tackle.
All right. And that leads us to our defensive player of the week.
When you have the big play on the punt, the big play on the goal line stand, and then you had 3 or 4 other tackles, you earned defensive player of the week for us. So really good game by Jalen. Obviously being a senior, we hate to see him go, but had a really good year for us.
All right.
All right, moving on to special teams here. This is the game-winning field goal. Last play of the season. I don't know exactly how many plays we ran, but it's well over probably 2,000. And out of all 2,000 of those, this is the very last one. But great snap by Chris Macias, great hold by Caden Hodson, and then Enrique Garza with the boot right there. And really good job by our field goal unit team holding up. We knew at this point. We told them, we called a timeout with 2 seconds to go, and we told them, hey, you gotta sit in there. They're gonna come after it. They're gonna come after it. They're gonna come after it. And they did. But again, perfect snap, perfect hold, and the perfect kick to walk it off. And you see the celebration out of the guys. I think we may have the wide angle on this one, where you can see the celebration from the guys. But what a way to end the season right there with the kick. There's the wide angle right there. You can see he boots it right through the middle of the goalpost right there. I don't guess it pans over to the celebration, but had parents, administrators send me videos of it, and the kids were rushing the field, the coaches were rushing the field. It was a really neat moment for the seniors, but also for those underclassmen to send those seniors out on top like that.
And our special teams player of the week?
Right there.
The
there
entire
you go.
squad, huh?
When you make a game-winning field goal as time expires, it's hard to just give it to one player. Obviously, Enrique had to kick the ball, but Hodson had to catch the snap, and Macias had to get it to him. So we gave it to the whole field goal unit because, again, we knew, hey, they're going to come after it. Let's find a way to protect it and get this thing off.
All right, well, that is the look at both the offensive, defense, and special teams. We've got some more hardware to hand out after this break, so keep with us. All right, welcome back, and we've got some more awards to be handed out. Let's get to those.
Yeah, I think we have our crush and our big hit of the week. So 3 crushes for us, which again, the offensive crush is our big hit on the offensive side of the ball. So Josiah Miller, Jacoby Small, and Jacob Baez. Anytime we get a pancake, a clear pancake on offense, we like to call that a crush. And so those 3 guys all had good ones the other night for us. So they were our 3 offensive crushes for the week. Our big hit of the week was Caden Hodson. You saw the play a while ago, the fumble, where he ran the guy down on the sideline. Ethan Evans kind of forced it back inside, and Hodson with the big hit knocked it free. And I think this is probably the 3rd or 4th time he got the big hit this year. So he's a senior. We're definitely gonna miss him next year and his leadership. But really plays the game the right way. Plays hard. And just he's kind of that throwback player where he wants to go hit you. So he earned big hit of the week, his last ever high school game. So really proud for him.
Now, talk again a little bit about just the atmosphere that was there at the end of the game, and knowing 7 seniors were on that, special teams play, 7 of 11. How many seniors are leaving this squad, and just how tough is that now that they're really meshing and coming together now?
Right, and that's the tough part as a coach, and we talked about that with our kids the other day on Monday. I said the tough part as a coach is we've got to start now, as coaches, start preparing for the 2025 season. And so you don't ever want the seniors to feel like, hey, we're pushing you to the side, but they also got to understand we got games to win next year. So we've got to start preparing right now and getting the juniors and sophomores ready to go be Friday night ready next year. But we tell those seniors they're always going to be a part of this program. We had over 30 seniors this year, and I tell them just because football is no longer there for them here, we're always still going to be there for them. They're a part of this family. They're a part of this group. When we say Jacket Pride never dies, we truly mean that. And so I had the seniors stand up the other night before the game, and I told all the underclassmen, I said, these seniors deserve y'all's best effort. I said, until the very last play, they deserve your absolute best. And to win it on the last second field goal was really neat. But again, to have 7 seniors on that field goal team too, that's something that they'll never forget. We had kids that didn't get in the game the other night, seniors, juniors, but I guarantee you they didn't care because the way we won as a team is something that those kids will never forget. And so really fun atmosphere. Obviously the bus ride home was fun. The locker room was fun. Over the weekend it was nice to hear a lot of positive things. And then Monday when we got back, just seeing the kids walk in with a smile on their face, that made it worth it.
How rewarding of a season has this been? Because you've seen a lot of growth. I mean, week after week after week, you've seen the offense progress, plays being made, not finding a way to win at the end until this very last game. But, how rewarding is it to see the concepts, the growth, and all that happening?
Yeah, I'm really proud of our coaches. We talk about the kid being tough on the kids, losing those tough games, being in the middle. It's tough on the coaches too, and then losing a tough Friday night game and then having to turn around and be up here at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning to get ready for the next one is not easy. And then to do it for 10 straight weeks is really tough. So, really proud of our coaches for continuing to show up and put together a good game plan for our kids to put them in a position to win. And so excited for them to get to experience that win too the other night. But for us moving forward, that win was huge going into off season. Riding some momentum into the offseason. It gives the kids some positivity. We now know where we stand within our district. Dobie got 3rd place, Manville got 4th, and Dawson got 5th. And we feel like, hey, for 3.5 quarters, we played with those teams. So we feel like we're closer to a playoff team than maybe some people do. But when you look at the end results, some people may go, they're still – but when you play those guys as good as we did for 3.5 quarters, it kind of gives you a lot of confidence going into the offseason saying, hey, we're a lot closer than maybe we think we are too. And so we've just got to go now these next 6, 7, 8 months, find a way. How can we continue to close the gap with those guys? But obviously riding this huge win into offseason gives you momentum, just gives you a vote of confidence to get this thing going. And, hey, we got a lot of positive things to look forward to moving into next year.
Okay. I'm going to put you on the spot right now.
All right.
If you can encapsulate the season in one word, what would it be?
Proud. Just proud. I mean, honestly, like our kids, they're so resilient here. I had a kid a few weeks ago. He told me, Coach, I don't know if I've won 10 games since I started playing football in 3rd grade. And that really hit home to me because our kids haven't experienced a lot of success. but they show up day after day after day after day after day and continue to buy in, continue to do things right. And so just proud of the way they represent themselves, proud of the way they represent the school. I tell people all the time, people in the community should be proud of what these kids are doing, because it's not easy doing what they do. My dad used to say, I can go pick 22 kids out in the hallway and we can go 0-10 real easy. But to show up every day, practice, go through off season, go through summer workouts, go through spring ball, go through spring workouts, go through morning workouts, and it's tough. It's tough doing what they do, and that's why less than 10% of our school, or really less than 8% of our school, is a part of the football program, because it's not easy doing what they do. And so just really proud of who they are, how they conduct themselves, what they represent, and then just proud to be their coach, because they've done everything we've asked them to do, and they continue to do it, even though the results haven't been there. That hasn't changed who they are as a person, and so I think I'm most proud of that.
Got to be proud of that, and they got to walk off as winners.
That's
so
it.
You got to love that.
That's it.
All right, well, that does it for this final episode of the Jacket Football Show. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you.
Jacket pride never dies.